tackling the business of raising kids in 2024. Well, Sangeeta and Diane are back. Woo, it's good to see you, ladies.
Good to see you.
And Sarah's out today, but filling in is a fun-filled, handsome dad on the panel today. Please welcome David Levine. He's actually the creative director right here at 9 News. He's also a father of 2 twin boys. David, you know I've been wanting to get you on Mama Mondays for a long time. Every time I walk by, I'm like, David, Mama Mondays, Mama Mondays. And finally, he's here. Well, how's everyone doing?
Good. Great.
Great.
January off to a busy start, right?
Yes.
It's been busy for me, like just one thing after the other. All right, well, one of the things I wanted to talk about this morning is sibling fights, because I've got the 8-year-old and the 15-year-old, and you would think that the 15-year-old would be like a mother figure to the 8-year-old, but she picks and picks and picks, and the 8-year-old is like competitive and it can be a meanie, so they constantly go at it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, how do you guys deal with siblings or older cousins and stuff like that? David, I'll start with you.
Well, I've got identical twin boys, so they're constantly around each other. They get sick of each other. Recently, they've started asking to sleep separately at separate houses with mom, you know, one at mommy's and one at daddy's. So it's really gotten to that level because they're starting to play sports and be competitive, and it bothers them when one person wins and they lose. So they fight a lot. They'll come out of the, go to another room, come back, they're on the floor wrestling or yelling at each other. And really, you gotta let them fight a little bit, right? I mean, it's part of the natural sibling competitiveness, I think, especially with young boys that are getting into sports.
Of course.
But then also you have to step in, and I think, the most effective thing is separation, right?
So what do you do,
Going into
David?
a different room. Says literally go to your room, get away from your brother, go do something else, right? But I think that there's an inherent nature to get back right next to each other and start fighting again.
Do you laugh, or what's your reaction when you're watching them go at it?
Usually it's not a laughing thing. It's not a laughing thing. It can be quite grating on a parent to be hearing that all the time, but I think, it's natural. You don't. It's not something that's out of the ordinary. I think that kids at that age, generally, the feelings are always big. They're big feelings, no matter what they are.
Are your boys kind of dramatic?
They're very dramatic. Absolutely. Yes, that fits them to a T.
Yeah.
But really, it's. You just got to let them go through it, but you're also the parent. You can see it. You can see it coming. You can step in. You can separate. And it does need to happen at times. You need to put the guardrails down.
That's right. It's so interesting to me because in your case, your kiddos love each other and we're always really cool around each other.
Yeah, and not to say that they didn't fight. I think it's a natural part of like any relationship. But I think about like when I look at how me and my brothers fought growing up and how my kids fight or fought as as children. It's nothing compared to
how we grew up.
Yeah, they're so. I mean, and even we're not a family of yellers anyway. We are all pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you set the tone at home with that,
and,
right?
I have a lot of plants and diffusers and essential oils going, so we make sure we keep like a pretty mellow house. But the fighting now is just like, which one thinks the other one should be doing as adults, because now they have their opinions and judgy. But growing up, no, they did not fight. Like there was no pulling them apart. There was no like, even my daughter's the youngest. She's always thought she was the oldest, and that's still true. For today.
Cool. Yeah.
And DJ just kind of lets her do her thing. He's like, yeah, you got it. I don't care.
That's great.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not the case at my house. My 8-year-old is like a dictator already. It's whatever she wants. Of course, I'm very strict with her. But David, and you brought this point out the other day, they do love each other.
They do, absolutely.
They're so close. But man, those two. What about you, Sangeeta? Now, Zara's an only child.
She is, but she's very close to her cousins.
Oh,
my niece is 18, my nephew's going to be 16. And my niece, they get along great. She looks up to her like she's some sort of goddess, and they put makeup on and make TikToks together, and she hangs out with her and her boyfriend, and it's just super cute. And then my nephew, he just whacks her on the back of the head, like pokes at her, and then they're fighting, and then the next minute they're like doing art together, and then he like whacks. She's like, leave me alone. Yeah. Or like, during the holidays, he had this candy that she really wanted, and he just like walked in front of her, peeling it. And it's like, oh,
Slowly.
this is just so good. And
Yes,
she's
it's
like,
gonna-
you're such
yeah.
a jerk. But you know,
yeah.
they fight, and then she's following her around again.
And then there's some love.
Yeah.
It's a love-hate
Yes,
relationship.
yes,
We all know
absolutely.
about
Thin
that.
line.
Yes.
There's a thin line.
There is a thin line. Well, look, very different from how we grew up. I mean, my older brother, I think at one point I was thrown through a wall.
Yes, that totally happened. And I survived. Well, did I deserve that? Looking back on it, you can be the judge of it. Well, you can hear the rest of the conversation right now on our Facebook page, Colorado and Company, on 9 News, and of course, our YouTube channel.